You know what I mean? It's always like,
Why would it be
it's
mixed
like,
up?
let's go. Okay, we got something planned for a couple weeks. Let's go ahead and throw 40 things on top of that, like at the very last minute.
That's life.
That is life.
That's life, man, all the time. And
So
then you threw kids at it, too.
I know. Yeah, smart move. Do we look into the? Should we look into the camera, or do we just we're just bullshit?
Just be natural.
Fucking
Because,
A,
I mean,
have a hard time
it's going to be
here.
weird to just have a conversation on some screen like that.
I know. I can't. I wasn't sure if it was like.
Let's talk to the audience. How are you guys today?
Hey, how's it going there, audience? How are you guys doing? Drunk, half in the bag? I hope so.
I'm
Getting there?
Getting there. I'm first beer of the day.
Fucking A, man. Well, it's a good thing we're sitting next to the keg box.
Yeah,
Because,
I can just reach over
you
and
literally could reach
refill.
over and just pour that up. It's like having the keys to I guess a keg box.
Okay. Is there something more elaborate? You know?
I had nothing
the keys
for
to
that.
the kingdom of beer.
There's some
Brother,
pretty good shit up there too. I haven't.
you guys
yeah.
always have a good lineup of beer.
Yeah.
By the way, if anybody's watching right now, we are live at Gorilla Mall in Alhambra, California, with Ryan Harkin.
How are you?
Did I say your name right? Harkin.
Harkins. Harkins.
Harkins.
It's a plural Harkin.
Plural Harkin. We're here, I don't even know what day it is anymore. What day is it? Wednesday, Friday?
It's Friday.
You know what that
Apparently.
means.
Yeah. I know, dude. It's like
It's Friday. You know what that means.
Yeah, it means I gotta work tomorrow.
Yeah, right. That's what I say to myself every time. It's like I'm watching Dynamite. It's like, it's Wednesday. You know what that means? I'm like, yeah, I got to go to bed soon.
Yeah,
that's what that means.
You guys wrap this up? I gotta go to sleep, man.
So you, my friend, we've been friends now for a few years.
Yeah, introduced by Dave Whitty, as a matter of fact. I mean, like, kind of. But yeah, no, it was
Yeah, it was
because he
Whitty.
was. Yeah, insane the magic that man has.
That's all he does, man. He's an inspiration for me, not just musically,
Absolutely.
but just as a human being, as a person.
Such a good dude. Like, one of the nicest people in the universe I've ever met.
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't even have to, like, the drumming is like a whole separate
Yeah,
thing.
that's a
like,
whole
he's like a
other thing.
fucking, I mean, Christ, you know,
you
the
could
guy's a machine.
You could just Google to listen to his drumming, but,
Yes, just-
but for those that don't, that just know him for music, he's also the best human being on the planet. I think.
Yes.
One of the best human
and
beings.
a fountain of beer knowledge as well.
Fountain of beer knowledge. I fancy myself a beer nerd,
man. Yeah.
and then still I have a hard time keeping up with
He knows
Mr.
like
Whitty.
everything. He knows shit that's like not even in the works yet somehow.
Oh,
You know what I
stuff
mean?
that
It's-
he's doing now because he's brewing beers like crazy now with like.
oh no shit! Who's he with now? I know he's done a bunch, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done a bunch like Three Floyds and he's done some with Cigar City and now
Is
he's.
that how you guys?
Yeah, that's how we
awesome.
met. That's exactly how we met.
That's awesome.
Justin Clark's one of the higher ups in Cigar City, and he was like, "Hey man, I need you to take this case of beer to Miami to this concert. This band Municipal Waste is playing. You know them, right?" I'm like,
What? That's so fucking random. That's amazing.
"Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'll take a case of beer to Municipal Waste."
What the fuck?
And
dude?
then,
That's amazing. That would have been part of your job.
That was my job. That was my job
take
for.
a case of beer to Ms. Waste. That's fucking amazing.
That was my job for a couple of years, man, and it really fucked with me because it gave me like a sense of like in Florida at that time, I felt like a rock star.
Oh my god! How could you not?
I just show up places with cases of beer, like,
Dude,
oh
you're
my
literally
God.
bringing the party wherever you
Yeah,
go. I mean,
so-
what the fuck? I mean,
It was traumatizing, and now I'm having a hard time dealing with the fact that I'm not a rock star.
I've been dealing with that my whole life. It's a cold slap of reality across your
dude.
face.
Yeah, but I gotta thank Justin for that, man. Because the second I met, I went and he gave me a number to text. I'm like, "I'm here with your beers, sir." He just comes
That's
out as
cool.
like family, like, "Hey," and it was immediate. Like, invited me to his house in Virginia. I'm like, "We just met,
Dude.
What are you doing? Like, you don't know if I'm crazy."
Yeah, I love that, man. I'm like the same way. I just get.
Yeah.
I like it. He gets that energy, man. I just love that shit.
He picks up on the
I just met
energy.
you, but we like the same shit. Fuck, let's hang out. Let's
Yeah.
talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, I love that shit, man.
Absolutely. And there's a Witty Burger here at Gorilla
yeah.
Mall. So if you're in the Southern California area, please come to Gorilla Mall and have a Witty
Please do.
Burger. Have one of my beers
Yes.
that you guys have
man.
cans.
Talk about not a rock star. You get your own beer in here, man. That's fucking pretty sweet, if you ask me. That's like pretty amazing.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, but
I almost shit my pants when you showed me that. It's like the coolest thing, dude. Like, it's amazing.
But dude, amazing to me is that you have this place because I love I love everything that this place is. From the moment I moved to California from Florida, because I met Woody in Florida.
Yeah,
and when I moved here,
that's right. Because he was telling me that you were going to be moving out here.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. They were here one time just eating, and they're like, one of my buddies is moving to Florida. Moving from Florida. You got to meet him.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that shit.
And immediately, as soon as I got a beer job, I'm like, I'm going straight there. And then Woody was like, you need to go. Tell him you know me. It's fine. I'm like, cool.
Dude, he's the best.
But, I've always loved, from the second I walked, obviously I love metal and punk and hardcore.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
I also love pro wrestling, as everybody watches the show knows. And there's All Out is on the TV next to us. On top, there's a Jushin Thunder Liger mask. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy here.
Yeah, it's the dumbest place. I mean, I'm glad. And first off, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. Like I tell people a lot. Like when people are coming in here, like even if you're into metal, into wrestling, that's fantastic. That's like a plus. But if not, it shouldn't matter. Like I just want people to come in here and look at how just ridiculous it is, and just drop their guard, forget about all the bullshit, and just have a party with us for a while you're here. Like just hang out for a half an hour, turn your brain off.
And the ridiculousness goes along with the menu. Yeah. The food is ridiculous, and I'm not just saying that. Like it's some of the best food in Southern California.
We have this lovely lady in front of us to thank.
Nikki! Come say hi, walk by and wave. But yeah, Nikki runs, a lot of the beer program too, as well.
Yeah, man, she's like, she's the reason we have so much sick beer on tap. Like, I mean, she just keeps this fucking food quality like next level. She's the best, man. Yeah. This place wouldn't be anything without her. Yeah, man, it's fun. We're having fun here.
Yeah, dude, and you guys.
It's work, but yes.
Well, of course it's work. Anything that's successful or good, requires work.
That bullshit saying like, oh, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day.
Bullshit.
It's such bullshit.
It's all work.
It's such bullshit. It's all work. Like if you want to get somewhere, you gotta fucking put some energy into it. I'm sorry, you can't
every band that I know, any successful band that I know has to put work in. That's just how it works. You have to tour. You have to make shirts. You got to make sure things are running according to this and that and times and and even when you're at the venue, like make sure all of our gear's there. Is everything working?
Oh, shit.
My grandmother's here. Can somebody go get my grandmother?
Say all the list bullshit. That's like every show. Who's on the list and who's on that too? Jesus Christ! And it's all just to play a show. They're like, yeah, dude. I mean, everything's work. You think like fucking any band that's massive, like I'm sure they days
have
where
it
they're
easier.
like, God damn it, I don't want to go to the office today. Yeah. My office just happens to be a stage that we play in front of a shitload of people, but fuck me, I don't want to do it.
It's a good office, but it's still the office.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
and some people have it nice, like 9 Inch Nails. They don't even have to they just walk over to the side stage and somebody hands them a brand new tune guitar.
Yep,
good to go.
Oh God.
But you yourself, you play in Trappist also. Yeah. And you know what that struggle is like.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, I've never been in a successful band my entire life. That's for sure. No. I played in bands, loaded gear in every one of them.
Exactly. There's never help, and even like bands that I admire, that like bands like Cave In or these older bands that have been around for a while. You still see them.
They reach a certain plateau, or not plateau. They reach a certain amount. That's the wrong word. Certain amount of success where they eventually do have people helping them out.
But that's a big, you have to be great, like 9 Inch Nails, Grammy Award winning.
Right.
You're making soundtracks for Disney and shit. You're good.
Nice.
Yeah, right? Fuck, man.
God damn.
I gotta wake up every day hoping that one day somebody offers me that. I'm like, hey, why don't you just sit in here and we're gonna give you all this equipment and you just make some cool tunes and we'll put it in a Disney movie.
Dude, that's funny. I think to the contrary of, if you do something you'll never work a day in your life, you're like, well, I would do something I hate for a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then not have to do anything for the rest of my life. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
I'll take the do something I hate for $1 million, please, rather than the...
I mean, that's been my life up to this point, and I'm just kidding. You think I really wanted to work at Victoria's Secret?
Dude.
No.
Man.
But, I did it. It's fine.
I worked at a...
What's the worst job you had?
That's a tough one. I've had a lot of shitty jobs. There's been shitty kitchens that I've worked in.
Is there anyone that actually required you to touch feces? Like shitty job.
Yes.
A real shitty job.
For one summer, I was a janitor at the Rocky River, what is it called? Like the rec center. It's in Cleveland, like the cities have like the rec center and the police department, all that shit, like all in one thing. Why am I not thinking of what that is? I don't know. City Hall or whatever.
City Hall, okay.
So I was a janitor, and that one, I cleaned up lots of shit, a lot of little kid shit, and because there was a pool attached to it as well. But that gig was also pretty rad because you could get away with, like, hey, you got to go fix something or other. You just go hang out in the back, smoke cigarettes for like 4 hours, and then take a real sweet time.
You always find a way to take your time with it. I got a gig once building hospital beds.
Oh shit!
For like an old folks home that my old drummer Billy got me. I think that job. It might be. Don't misquote me. Don't get mad if I'm misquoted. But but I think it was Billy got me that job. I don't know. But it was a gig where I was just basically building beds all day. Damn. But it was like, hey, I need to take a break. I'm hurting. Just fuck off for a couple hours,
Dude,
come back like, what are you gonna do? Fire me? I'm building beds.
Yeah, come on,
for old people.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's working for the city. I learned how to work for the city, and that is a. Some of those guys got that down to a science where they don't lift a finger for fucking like 40 hours a week. You know what I mean? It's amazing.
I'm just standing here wearing my yellow vest. Just move along.
Yeah, just waving.
Come on, get away from me.
No, I'm getting paid $22 an hour for this. Fuck it.
Oh, bro, it's but I think there's an element of that's important if you want to be successful at doing shit.
Yeah.
You need to know how to put in work, because if your whole life, you're kind of coasting.
Yeah.
And I don't care about this job. I'm gonna get fired next week. I'll get another job. Like, how are you expected to succeed at what you want to do?
Right. You can't possibly. I mean, there's no sounds like some shit your dad would say or whatever, but it's.
You're a dad now, so you can say it.
Yeah, technically I'm a dad. Yeah, that's right. But I mean, it is true. I don't know. I don't get that, like, being that unstable, I suppose. I don't know. I always like had to have jobs. Like I always felt weird to me. Give up your fuck it, man. You don't need work. Just focus on your dream, bro. Just go focus on the band. How do I live? Yeah, but can you tell me the other part of that equation?
How do I eat? Where do I sleep?
Yeah, no shit, man.
What are you talking about? I've always had that. My buddy's like, you just gotta let go, bro.
Yeah, I know. It's so easy. So easy. Yeah, I mean, like, get out of here.
No thanks.
That's what I do, though. I really, like, when I think about, to bring this a ways back, like, there was a time in those guys' career where it was like, okay, this is like, do we make this? Is this real? Yeah. Or are we, still going to be working other jobs? And I think that must be the most insane decision to make ever. Like, just be like, okay, no, fuck it. This is the band. The band is our job now. Like, that is wild shit, man. Like, that's got to be scary.
It is scary. I mean, I've thought about it too. Like, how much money do I need in the bank to be able to say I'm quitting my day job?
Yeah.
And focusing on the show.
Yeah.
And it's a hard question, man, because I don't know.
I know, dude.
Because, like, what if you do quit your job and dump all your money and then nothing happens?
Or some kind of weird bullshit happened.
Or some bullshit.
Like the unexpected.
A car accident, fucking whatever, and illness, whatever it may be. Especially now that we got, illnesses in the world.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? It's a crazy time. So I don't know. I really don't know.
You're like at that same point, and you're like you're getting right there. It's like, and that's like that's got to be wild. That's got to be. I'm not to put pressure on you. You know what I mean? But like, you got your beer out. This is fucking wild shit.
It is wild.
Those are tough.
I'm just trying to. My wife was giving me advice. She's like, I'm very stubborn, and I don't like the Hollywood thing of like, I need to get a therapist. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I don't want a therapist. I got this. Yeah. You know what I mean? But she's been telling me, like, you need to at least take time to like look at the stuff you're doing, because when you get to that point where you're doing shit like you got the band, and the band just dropped a vinyl record with Connoisseur. You got the restaurant, which is chaos already. Like, if just running a restaurant is enough for most people, but you got the restaurant and you got the band, and you got a baby. So like,
yeah, dude, it's silly. It gets
so you don't really stop and like think. You're just working. Like, hey, let's get the restaurant moving. Make sure the band thing is going on. Make sure the baby's fine. You're not stopping to appreciate like, oh well, hey, look at all this crazy shit. I don't know if you are. I'm just saying as an example.
It is insane because it's very true because you're not. I mean, the human brain is conditioned to focus on the negative as it is. It's easier to think negatively than it is to think positively.
It's all over the news.
But yeah, no, it's right. You don't, and it's like that stop and smell the roses bullshit. But I know what that means now. You know what I mean? I never knew what that meant.
Now you know.
Yes, because it's like, yeah, you do gotta fucking like you work and work and work, and you can start building resentments.
Yeah.
Against what you do for your work and all this shit, and it's like, you know, it's not healthy if you don't stop for a second and go. And I actually have to do this a lot. Like especially since like COVID and all that stuff. Like you just have to stop back and think and just be like, okay, you know what? This is pretty fucking cool. Like, there's people who are coming in. We are doing good stuff. This is okay. Like, you know what I mean?
You guys survived the pandemic because it was rough for most restaurants.
It was brutal.
It was rough for you, too. I'm just saying you actually made it through. Some places didn't make it through.
I know. And that's the thing, like, when we catch ourselves, like, complaining about this or that or whatever, and it's just, it's like, step back and be like, oh, shit, I'm thankful we're open, actually. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
one of the things I started doing is in my house there's a bunch of shelves, and it's all filled with like other people's stuff, other people's
just
accomplishments.
Like left there. Oh, I see.
No. Like I mean, like Legend of Zelda. I have a whole shelf of Zelda shit.
Oh, right on.
I have a whole shelf of like with my records and like everything that I've gotten like through bands, like picks and like and just kind of doing that to. When every once in a while, when I'm like stressed out, I just look over. I'm like,
yeah,
we did all that.
Yes,
that
totally.
was cool.
I know, man.
And we could do more. Like, you got to keep it going.
It is, and that's what I think. That's also kind of what it takes to get you to want to keep going more, because it does like reaching burnout is inevitable. Like no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
Especially when you're putting everything in it.
Yeah.
You're gonna burn yourself out, and like.
How crazy was the transition for you? Because the restaurant's here because you did that Food Network thing. It was Food Network or what channel was it?
Yeah, it was Food Network. We did the food truck great thing. Food truck race.
Yeah.
We were a truck for about 6 months before that show started. And I remember thinking that it was the dumbest thing we were ever going to do because, the potential of being gone for 6 weeks, we're going to lose all of our, what we had built already in those 6 months or whatever. And, we got lucky.
One of my beers, please. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. No. Go on.
But yeah, like, the goal with Grill 'Em All was never to stay with food trucks. We more so.
You wanted a restaurant.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Look at that beauty. Look at that beauty.
You can pick this up now at Grill 'Em All. RBG Cosmic Eye beer from Nebraska. They are the ones doing Woody's beer, by the way.
Oh, that kicks ass.
They're doing the municipal waste beers, so that's the whole connection here.
I do. That's
We're all connected. Cool. It's all a family.
It's all cool. It's all incestuous.
So sorry, I interrupted you with your story. Go on.
I have no idea.
So food truck. You didn't want to be a food truck from the very beginning.
So the goal was always to get to a standalone brick and mortar spot. It's just. We used it as a literal vehicle, pun intended, to like get ourselves to a restaurant. Like we did. Like when we started, we basically used every penny we had between Matt and myself to get us. I mean, we literally the day we went out, our first day out on the streets, our bank account was at 0.00. Like we spent the last penny. And so I was like, okay, well, now we have to sell a burger
this
because
better work.
Yeah, like it's like this is because we need to put gas in this fucker to get back to the commissary. Yeah. We need to, you know what I mean? Like,
but it works out. It does, man. Like when you're, I guess that's like the human condition. Like when your back is up against the wall,
you do it.
You do it, or you die. Do or die at that point.
I know. So. Well, I get that with a lot of friends of mine from Cleveland and stuff, where they say like. I'd love to move out there, but it's so expensive and stuff and things like that. And I just think about like, No, you find a way.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. You know, either the job you're getting is not paying you the $7.15 that you were getting in Cleveland, is paying you $20 now. You know, there's or whatever it is. It somehow always seems to balance out. And yes, it is expensive to live here, but then I also think there's
so much opportunity.
Right, there's opportunity. The jobs do pay more.
Yeah.
And especially if you're like a musician and shit, Jesus Christ! I mean, this is where you would want to be. I mean,
a musician or entertainment, like any kind of entertainment. Like with the podcast, I tell my buddies from Miami, they're always like, "Why are you there? It's so expensive. Everything's dead. The grass is dead. The desert, and the earthquakes." I'm like, "This is where I gotta be, man."
Yeah, man. Well, and they're also saying that because they're jealous too. I think I could say that for most of the Midwestern people who give me shit. I think, you moved to LA, could take it out here.
Fucking Hollywood, Mr. Hollywood.
I tell you what, I would much rather not spend a winter in Cleveland again.
Yeah, and, scraping off ice from your car, like mirrors and shit. Like, oh my god.
And to this day, it's been, where am I at? 13 or 14 years of being out here, and my buddies back home still bust my balls in the winter when I'm cold. I'm like, yo, understand that we don't have. Yeah. Oh, there it is. You forget what it was like out here? Like, well, yeah, I kind of did, motherfucker, because it's real nice out here.
Yeah, it's beautiful all year. It's now 55. It sucks. I'm sorry.
But to anybody who's thinking about moving to LA, don't come here.
Don't come here.
There's enough people.
Go to Texas. They need more people, apparently.
Yeah, man. Don't they say,
especially my Floridian friends. Yes. Go to Texas.
Go to Texas.
Don't come to liberal California.
Yeah.
We hate it here.
Oh, man. You're going to hate all the liberals here. Don't move here.
It's so, dude, every day when I go outside now, and I'm thankful for my dog, too. Like, the dog is getting me out more.
Yeah.
And we got the dog during the pandemic.
What do you got?
We got an American Bulldog.
Oh, hell yes.
And he's the shit. But,
that's awesome.
But he's forcing me out of the house every day, like 2 or 3 times a day to walk him.
Yeah.
It's not a small apartment, but it's an apartment.
Right.
And he doesn't have a yard or anything, so I have to take him out. He lets me know, too. He's like,
hey, buddy.
Let's go. I'm going to shit everywhere if you don't hurry up. But it's cool. It gets me outside, and I get to appreciate, it's fucking beautiful every day. Yeah. It's 75, 70. There's a cool breeze. The sun's out, so it's kind of warm, and I will never give that up ever again. Never again.
And you know what? It helps me, and I'm not trying to sell LA to anybody out there listening. I really am not.
Yeah, don't come here.
But no, if I'm having a bad day, especially at work or something here, and I'm heading home, and I'll make like a left-hand turn and start, to get to my house. It doesn't matter where on the street. You take a left-hand turn, and you're facing the mountains.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like. Yeah. Oh. Yep. Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. Like there's something like calming about it. Like before I get home, like I'm seeing all this beautiful shit, and it just kind of drags me down a little bit if I'm hot. You know what I mean? Like if I'm getting mad or whatever, it's like, hey, ground yourself. Look at this. Beautiful. I
had a rough. It was kind of rough. I was working 4 jobs when I first got here.
Holy shit!
4 jobs. I was doing Uber. I was working at a bar. I was working beer sales, and I was working at home doing editing stuff for people. But I'm glad that I ended up doing that because it gave me a proper introduction to LA to be not only selling beer but Ubering.
Yeah.
Because I was going everywhere.
Everywhere, yes.
And there was once in a while it would be like, oh, you have to go over the Hollywood Hills.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that sounds annoying. But then you get up there and it's like, this is fucking beautiful.
I know. It's beautiful. It's like, it's crazy. It's so weird, man. It's so crazy.
Yeah. So I do love it here. And if you want to make something happen, entertainment-wise, this is kind of where you have to be. Or New York.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I'm of that age, right?
I can't handle New York anymore.
No, I don't think I'd be able to do it.
I'm from New Jersey.
Yeah.
So New Jersey, New York, that life was like youthful life of Eddie. I can't. I'm
raging.
I smoke too much weed, and the weather's too good here for me to go back to New York anymore, ever.
Well, my buddy Diaz down there, he's right
the Midwest.
Down there over there. He is from New York as well.
Yeah.
And moved out here, I don't remember how many years ago. But it was like, oh yeah, how did I live in New York? It's really nice out here. It's like, yeah. It's real easy to get used to it out here.
Yeah. I do also appreciate being from a different area, and then LA is a transplant place.
Yeah, it really is.
It is, but the vibe here is very mellow. So coming from the East Coast or coming from an area like you where you're hardworking, you grew up in the snow and
dude.
you're working shitty jobs like you said. Like coming here, you realize the mellow vibe is great, but that everybody's mellow, I got that hustle.
If you work harder, you can pass up every motherfucker in this place. Yeah, that's exactly what I told one of my buddies from home. He was talking about coming out here for work, and I was like, dude, you don't even realize that you already have a work ethic established in you that will fucking crush it out here.
Yep.
Like that's the
Everybody's
thing.
very chill here, and if you come here with work ethic and hustle,
I'm not saying that it's a bad thing.
It's not. I love it.
I'm saying if you do have a fucking work ethic out here, things will work to your advantage.
Hell yeah, absolutely. So tell me. Let's go back to you because I'm I feel like we're.
Oh yeah, we're just
we're homing on California, but I want to talk about you. This is an episode about you.
No.
Tell me more about you. But music-wise, with all this shit that's going on, you just put out the split with Connoisseur, which is great, beautiful.
Thank you.
I picked it up. One of the coolest.
Much appreciated.
Even my wife was like, "That is one of the coolest album artworks I've seen in a while."
That was a cool dude. That came out amazing.
Yeah, that was really nice.
I was very thrilled with that. I had a vision of that when I was tripping balls. I swear to you, that's how that record cover came about.
Okay.
And I pitched it to the Connoisseur guys, and they're like, "We know exactly the guy.
We know who you're
fucking drew
We
it.
had that same
it
vision."
Came out, and I'm like, "Oh my god, you did it! You nailed it! This is crazy."
Well, that's what it is. That's an interesting thing about tripping, dude. A lot of people don't. I mean, I'm sure that the people that trip do, but a lot of people that are on the outside that have never done tripping or mushrooms or anything like that, they always, "Oh, you drug addict."
Dude, it's
you guys are drug addicts.
It's the most
my Cuban buddies send me videos of some guy killing people in Miami, and they're like, "He was on mushrooms." I'm like, "No, he was not."
Yeah, no, that's PCP.
He was on other things, meth, whatever. Not mushrooms
probably didn't help, but I'm sure it was the PCP who brought the rage.
Right. Same as too many ibuprofens wouldn't have helped that night too.
Right.
It's not the cause of the problem.
If you use them a certain way, it's very educational. I think you find out more about yourself and the universe.
There's like a unifying connected vibe or a frequency or whatever you want to call it, where everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
Like you said, you had the vision. Those dudes heard your description. They were like, "I got it."
Literally, turned it into.
I get it. It was
amazing.
Yeah, and it's beautiful, man. So, what's? I don't even know how you process life running this place and thinking about possibly going on tour or doing shows. Where are you at with that?
Well, right now, the album the album got delayed because of everybody's shit did basically from the pressing plans over COVID, but during that stretch. Chris Dodge, our bass player, he and his wife, they moved to Louisville, which was like a fantastic. A smart move on their part. It was crazy, but it was amazing. So we're kind of we got to really pick and choose the shows that we are going to play. If we do, it became more of we already kind of were just. So, we weren't doing this full bore. This is our, there's the three of us all had other work, so we weren't going super nuts on it. But now it's a little bit harder to, if we wanted to just go up and play Oakland one weekend, we can't really just do that. So it's, we kind of got to pick what we're going to do. And, we'd love to go back. Obviously, this is the most obvious statement ever. We'd love to go back to Japan. The greatest place in the universe.
I've yet to go.
Dude, your head's gonna explode.
Dude, I went to in high school. I took 2 years of Japanese.
Oh no shit.
And I currently work at a Japanese company where we speak Japanese on a daily basis.
Really?
So this is my life goal. To go to Japan once. Just once.
Dude, we gotta do it. I'll do it with you. It's the greatest place ever. It is.
Let's fucking go.
I've only, I don't live there, so I don't know. But I can only tell you from what I've said or what I've seen and done in the 2 times I've been there, and it is just heaven on earth. It is just.
Good food.
Good non-alcoholic beer, which is crazy.
That's hard to find.
The food is amazing, of course. The people are so nice.
Polite.
The wrestling is top-notch. The hardcore is top-notch.
Yep.
There's fucking vending machines everywhere with the best drinks you will ever drink. It is...
There's also vending machines with panties, but that's a separate...
We were talking to the guy, one of the guys who was, took us out when we were there. So, was that just a weird myth that Americans had about it?
I saw pictures of
them. No, It's like, no, that was a thing. He's like, they kind of started cleaning everything up, especially when he said, like, when they got the Olympic bid years ago for Tokyo is when they really started cleaning all that kind of stuff up. Sense. And, but because you used to be able to buy beer in vending machines there too, and he's like, they kind of stopped all that. Like, if you go to the outskirts, like outside of Tokyo and stuff, you'll still see some of that stuff. But
I can imagine like the beer thing being a problem with homeless people, like just breaking into them and taking the beer. You know what I mean?
I would just take you could just take a fucking garbage can and throw it right through the.
Do the old potato chip arm up the thing, try to get it out.
Things I'd do for a beer. Break vending machines? Yes, done it.
I would
let's see. Punch someone out? Yes, done it.
That's funny. That's such a big problem in Japan, but it's also a big problem here. And that's one of the things that my friends bring up. Like, how do you live in LA with such a homeless problem? I'm like, well, I don't live around the homeless.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I mean, there is. It's weird because it's not like you don't see it here. But yeah, I mean,
I see it in downtown LA. Actually, in my neighborhood, if I have to go like 5 or 6 blocks away, into the main areas of the streets, like where the businesses are, then I'll see some tents and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't bother me. They're in a tent over there.
Dude, they do their thing. I do
and
my
they're
thing.
fucking. I've seen some like nice situations. Like I saw a dude with like a dual cabin tent, and there was like a little table with an AC unit.
Dude,
hooked up to a generator. I'm sure he had a TV in there. I'm like, he's having a good time.
There's these what was it, like in the Azusa mountains? I can't, but I would just drive around, just fucking like in the mountains because you can.
Yeah.
And I stumbled across a guy. It was such a good rig, man. He just, because out here you get a lot of the like beat up RVs on the streets or whatever, things like that, and people living. No, this guy was a smart motherfucker.
You can live in an RV.
He took that beat up ass RV and just parked it in the middle of the fucking mountains, right by a stream, and then he had like a beater car, and that's where we lived. I'm like, dude, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like you just living in the middle of the mountains.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if that's your life, if that's your situation, beautiful. Go for it.
I mean, shit.
Yeah. Tom Green started doing that. You saw that shit?
No, does it really?
Tom Green sold everything he owned, bought an RV, and has been on the road since. He's filming out in the road with his dog. Now the RV's got like a studio built in with like monitors and like he's got the studio in the RV, but that's his life now.
That's awesome.
Good for you, man. If I were him, that's what I would want to fucking do.
Dude, I always think about that. Like, if whenever comes the day of retiring, how fun it would be to just RV.
Yeah.
Across. I mean, we've seen so much stuff like on tour and things like that you just never see as a normal. Like a normal citizen of this country. Like, you see these back ends and deserts and crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
most
all these
people
things,
don't leave their fucking towns.
I know.
A lot of my friends from Miami haven't left Miami. Maybe they took one trip to like Denver to go skiing. It's like, you don't know what the world is like. It's fucking rough out there.
Miami sounds like Cleveland.
Dude, Miami's nuts, dude. I'm so glad I got out of there. Like, I had fun, and I love all my people.
It looks like a blast. But
that's the thing. It's too much fun.
Yes.
It's that vice. It's that, like, that's where I learned all of my bad habits. Like,
yeah.
And it's cool, but I'm good. I had enough.
That's my Chicago. That's my Chicago for me. Like I
Chicago's
had a blast.
nice. I like Chicago. I
love it. But I the idea of I indulge so much there. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it gives me a hangover thinking about
Chicago. So let me talk to you then as a let's get into it. As a Chicago native, are you excited about CM Punk?
Well, Cleveland native, but
okay.
CM Punk still has a. I am.
CM come.
I think that was the. I think that was the.
CM Punk. Yeah.
I think that was the best, as far as like televised wrestling situation in the past like 15 years is probably it. Like, we saw it. That comeback was.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see someone, that's when I got over the moon happy, was when it cut to the dude who was crying. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
See, this is the shit that wrestling is supposed to do to people. Like, it's supposed to be that good.
Were you like a big Punk fan or no?
He kind of came at a time where I was out of that sort of scene. Like, I was like, Matt and I got into we were watching the Monday Night Wars throughout high school and all that shit, but then I would say around like 97 or so, our interest started veering more towards Japanese and specifically Japanese deathmatch wrestling. And
you're similar to me in that, but I didn't go to Japanese deathmatch. I just stopped watching wrestling.
Yeah, and then it ended up you get when you start getting desensitized to all that deathmatch wrestling. There was probably a solid break for I'd say 6 years where I was, and that's when I think CM Punk was like in his height.
Yeah, I missed the CM Punk hype. I missed the Daniel Bryan hype. Like
same
in WWE, I liked his independent work, but the Shield.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I couldn't even tell you who's in the Shield.
John Cena really wasn't like. I left right when he showed up.
Yeah, he seems like a great person.
He's a cool guy, and I love his movies.
Yeah.
I love his acting.
Yeah,
I don't really like his wrestling.
There's a lot of that.
He misses a lot of his shots, and he calls them very loudly in the ring.
At some point, like when someone's that over that they can literally do whatever the fuck and nobody sees it, and not even if they don't even see him calling it, or they do see it, then they don't care.
They think it's it's like Street Fighter. They're like doing they're calling out their move. Hadouken.
I mean, like,
clothesline.
I love there's wrestling. I love wrestling on the large scale, obviously. I mean, as far as like AEW and WWE and all that stuff, it holds my interest. WWE not really at all, but AEW a little bit. But my shit is I love tiny, independent, local fucking wrestling is we grew up with it, and Cleveland All Pro Wrestling back home, and we were lucky to have a booker at Cleveland All Pro, JT Lightning, since past, was an amazing dude, would bring in Sabu and all the like the ECW guys, like from 95 to 2000 for Matt and I. It was like every main event in Cleveland All Pro was ECW light, because there were always death matches, and it was always sick. Madman Pondo, like all the the Rotten Brothers, everybody, and so really getting like you'd go to WCW event and that's great, but it's the same thing with punk music, I think, in the sense that like you can go see a major label act in a big stadium, and that's great, and Jay-Z probably puts on a fantastic show. But I'd like to see the dirty motherfucker who is working his ass off to bust ass to try to get to that level, because that's where the grind is, that's where the heart is. Some of the matches might be total shit, but that's half the fun.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, kind of, you talk some shit about the guys who fuck up the moves or whatever, and it's just fun. It's just like...
You fucked up.
Yeah,
you fucked up.
I love... wrestling to me has always been more of like, when we came out here, it was PWG before it got too big, and it was like there was always, to me, there's always seemed to be, and maybe it's growing up in Cleveland, because we had bands like Nine Shocks Terror play at Cleveland All Pro Wrestling, but there's always been like a fucking hardcore punk rock connection to wrestling. I mean, you'd have guys who are in the periphery or in the outskirts, but then you started seeing guys like CM Punk who are like, that's a punk guy. Yeah. And like he's in wrestling now, and there's other people that about, like, you look at GCW, and like half of that fucking place is like all punk dudes, like New York hardcore guys,
Chris Dickinson's like a big name there, and he's a buddy and a homie, and
that's awesome.
But he's like a big metalhead and a fucking drummer and a fucking...
Oh, he drums?
He's a drummer.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's a badass drummer in a death metal band. He's
really?
Fucking, yeah.
Holy shit, I didn't know he
likes
That's
video games and like Sega Genesis, like old school video games.
Hell yeah.
Not the new shit. So he's like my people's. You know what I mean?
That's what I know, man. It's serious. And I know, shout out to Damian Abrams for it turned out a punk, because he always mentions like the punk, the punk wrestling connection.
Oh yeah.
And it was amazing to hear him like listening to like start talking about that, because I'm like, oh my god, someone else thinks this too. Mm-hmm. I knew it. Like it's palatable. Like there's something punk as fuck about wrestling.
I found that out when I moved here. Like wrestling to me was always WCW, WWE, whatever was on TV. But when I moved out here, I met some people, my buddy Mark and Zach and Sarah. Like we even started a fucking wrestling podcast. Hell yeah! They're like, we all like wrestling.
Yeah,
let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And then like they invited me to my first independent show, which was I think PCW Ultra.
Nice. Yeah, PCW's great.
And I'd never been at all. And I when I saw the vibe, I'm like, oh,
yeah, man.
This is cool. And then I went to bar wrestling. I'm like, oh, this is a punk show.
Yeah, totally.
Standing room only.
Absolutely like a punk show.
$5 beers from a lady that really doesn't want to serve you that $5 beer.
Yeah, you can still smoke in the
back. I'm like, what is this?
That's like the best thing. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm sure if anybody out there doesn't understand why bar wrestling dissolved, go ahead and just Google Joey Ryan. But yeah, like that was a fun.
Well, they're not done, by the way. The bar wrestling, they have separated from Joey, I guess, but they posted on their Twitter that like bar wrestling's not done. We're just, the pandemic. When we figure it out, we'll be back.
Oh, wild.
Yeah.
Well, did you see that there's another one that kind of popped up? I've been to 2 of their events actually already. Is Canna Pro Wrestling.
Oh, I was in that.
And it's exactly
Pro,
what
like
you
cannabis.
Exactly.
All right.
It's the weed version of bar wrestling.
All right.
And I tell you what, it's pretty awesome. I mean, I went to one at this event called Kushstock out like this weed event like way out in the desert. And they were doing it there, and they actually had a death match. Eli Everfly wrestles for them as well. He's a local guy.
Yeah.
And
it's so funny. The first time I saw Eli was at a Pussifer show.
Really?
Yeah, because he, Pussifer did a whole album and tour cycle where they were traveling with a ring.
Oh my God! I had no idea about this.
Maynard is apparently a big fan of lucha, and they did a whole album and tour where they would set up a ring. And,
what the fuck?
And they would, while the band's performing, there's lucha going on behind them. And then in between songs, they would do like little promos, and shit. Oh my God!
I didn't know. That's amazing.
I'll send you some links.
Wow, that's
Eli
brilliant idea.
Eli was part of that. Ryan's ex-girlfriend. I forget her name.
Candace? No, they weren't dating. That was Joe
that was his tag partner. Yeah. She was one of the Hollywood Blondes, I believe, or not Hollywood Blondes, but the Hollywood something. The 2 girls.
The name is gonna.
I'm a jerk for not knowing, and I can't use my phone to look it up on Google. This is what technology is doing to us, making us dumb.
What? Oh, that's gonna kill me. It's gonna pop in like 5 minutes from now somehow.
Jane, shit. Anyway.
Exactly.
She's part of it, and they had a couple of like really legit lucha guys like doing lucha behind them while they did
awesome.
that. But that's like all of that kind of connected, and like I saw the Southern California scene, and like PCW we were talking about.
Yeah.
When I went there, they had Penta.
Dude, I know.
They had Strickland, who's now Swerve in NXT.
We were spoiled.
We're spoiled.
I mean, holy shit.
I remember standing at bar wrestling when the Bullet Club showed up.
Yeah, that's right.
And they were just like walking through the audience. I'm like, what is happening?
Dude, I was at a bar wrestling show one time, and I went out. It was before intermission. I just went out to use a bathroom or something or other, and Bailey was just at the bar because like her boyfriend was wrestling that night or whatever it was. I was like, oh my God,
It's a whole scene like the punk scene. Like there is this scene, like, and we're all supportive, and everybody goes to each other's shows, and I've always loved that, dude. And even just like when they Brody King.
Oh yeah, dude, fucking
one of the
best.
One of my experiences with Brody was him flying, doing a tope suicida, and like landing this 300-pound, 6'5" massive human flying over me, landing on top of my buddy, breaking his shit, and it's like, this is a punk show. That's a crowd surfer.
Yeah, totally, man.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And then they're after the show, after their matches, like intermission, they're all selling their merch by the tables and shit. I'm
everything
like,
about that.
Show.
That's so funny because I bring up the punk wrestling connection and dropping out. Probably, I can't believe that was the first name I brought out. It was Brody King. I mean, Jesus Christ, he sings for God's Hate.
God's Hate, which is incredible.
And he's like just fucking one of the scariest dudes. Look wise in the universe.
Nicest dude
ever.
Yeah,
so fucking cool, so nice. Like I if you're listening to this, love you, Brody, man. He's such a fucking great dude, man.
Has he had a burger here? I believe so.
We're bringing back. We're doing in October all month God's Hate Burger because we're gonna do. They're doing a show out here at the end of the month of October.
It's sold out before I got tickets. I gotta hit up Brody, and hopefully I'll give him money.
It's fucking sold out. Of course it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him money. I'll be like, look, man, I'm not trying to get on your free guest list bullshit. I want to pay you. However, it's sold out.
I've completely shit the bed on the past like 3 shows I've wanted to see, and I just completely forgot.
Well, you're in that
pandemic. You have to buy
tickets. You're in the pandemic mentality.
Like, oh yeah, you gotta buy tickets to go to these shows. Oh yeah, it's sold out. You know why? Because everybody fucking bought tickets. Like, oh yeah.
And there's another element too that I've been bringing up, which is, I've been blessed to be invited to a lot of shows.
Hell yeah.
But like, a lot of these musicians and wrestlers and anybody that's doing live entertainment has been out of work. They
haven't been getting paid.
They have been out of work for a year and a half. So I want to support them. Like, hey man, let me buy your ticket. Like, Between the Bird and Me came to town. I'm like, I'm buying a ticket. I'm not going to talk to them. I'm sure if I asked, they'd be like, sure, man.
Dude, if there's a time to buy band merch and shit like that, it's now. It's like, I mean, that's one of the things through the pandemic that I've, like, at least like once a month, if not more. It depends on how much I like the band, but I always try to buy like something from a band that I like, just to, like a T-shirt, a record, whatever the fuck is. If I got an extra, $20 that I can throw over to a, I don't know what's going on, to be honest. But if I got $20 that I could throw to a band and I know it's going to go to them, you know what I mean? It's
worth it.
It's worth it because they need it. You know what I mean? Like, there's been no
shows. Same for restaurants for you guys. Like, in the beginning of the pandemic, I was worried. I made the effort. I'm like, I'm going to drive out there and buy some food just to support.
Much appreciated, man.
Because I know that sucks.
And for you and for anybody who did that, especially during the pandemic, like, we fucking appreciate that a lot. I mean, because it was, it still is. We're getting there. But yeah, I mean, it's shit like that.
Thing.
I think the community helped us through the pandemic, especially because just for things like that, I don't know what it is, man. If you grow up in the hardcore scene, the punk scene, the metal scene, like, it's instilled in you, man. Like, I need to help. Like, if somebody's in trouble, you help them out, or if you know what I mean. Like, we help them, we support each other, we help each other. Like, this is a community. It's not just music. This is a fucking community and a culture that we all live in and partake in. So it's like, it is cool to see shit like that, man. Like, and to see all these younger bands coming out now, killing it outside of the pandemic. Like, holy fuck, man! I'm not sure you've been watching those Turnstile videos on the. Jesus Christ!
I heard somebody took a shit at one of their shows and it ended up on stage. I heard about that.
What? That's amazing. That's amazing.
But I was talking to Ken this morning from the Bronx, and we were talking about how there in LA there's this like weird underground shit going on where there's bands playing underneath a bridge and shit. Like, crazy hardcore shows are happening outside.
Matt and I saw the video of that. And it was the next day, and we just looked at each other like, fuck, it's happened. We're finally too old to know about this shit. Why the fuck were we not at this party?
Why were we not there?
That looks like the most raging show I have ever seen in my life. And, like, I mean, choppers overhead, Roman candles. I mean,
the most punk.
That was like seeing that was like the one time I've legitimately had FOMO in my life. It was like, oh my God, that looked insane.
I actually got invited to that and I turned it down because at first, like, I didn't know what it was gonna be.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it.
My buddy was helping me out with the podcast for a little bit. He was like, hey man, I'm gonna go shoot pictures at this show under a bridge, and I was like, my brain was like, have fun with that.
Yeah, have fun, dude. Yeah.
I'm not going to no bridge, to no show. What's wrong with you? And then I saw the videos. I'm like, oh, shit. What?
Dude, I know. Well, that's the funniest thing, too, because I bet I would put money on if somebody asked me.
You would have probably turned
an hour before. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to go to this bridge, see a bunch of hardcore bands play? I'd go, look at me, motherfucker. Do you know how old I am? You know what I mean? Like, I guarantee you I would say some bullshit like that. And then I saw the video and I was like, oh my God, what?
Yeah, my mind immediately went, I don't want to throw my back.
I know, too.
At a hardcore show.
I tell you what, I felt like the torch has been fucking passed, man. Like, the kids are all right. Like, they won up to every fucking goddamn thing I'd ever done. Like, that show alone, like, put to shame the years I had what I thought were insane in Columbus. That show, that one show, fucking destroyed it all. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then you see a band like Turnstile where they play a show before the album's even out and the fucking whole crowd is singing the word. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, the kids are going to be good, man. This is all right. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it always is, man. It always is. Like, we were all right, after our parents. And they're going to be all right, and it's going to keep going.
Yeah, totally.
I had no idea
how things were going to... the social
You had no idea you were going to get old?
Was that?
You had no idea you were going to get old?
Well, there was that. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think I was going to make it too long. I didn't think I was going to make it to even see a gray hair on my body, to be honest. The way I used to party, I like, there's a reason I'm, sober I don't drink anymore. I'm not I can't say that I'm sober. But
you don't drink alcohol.
I'm California sober.
California sober, it's a thing.
But I was fully sober for a while.
Okay.
Enough to clear my head, and it wasn't a light decision I did to start smoking weed. It was, but I think it was a good one.
You can get lost if you drink all of the time. Like that's what happened to me.
Well, it's a vicious cycle, You work hard, you end up fucking raging hard, and it perpetuates each other until it doesn't.
Yeah, it's like, how do you say no to a free drink?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's a hard one. Like, hey man, you want a beer? It's like,
no.
Yeah.
Of course I do, you fucking idiot. Yeah, give it to me.
So, it's rough to get away from that. I'm thankful that I've been able to take breaks and everything in my life. Like, I was on coke for 6 months, like hospital coke.
Yeah, dude.
Like, wake up at the hospital, like, what happened? Like, you overdosed. Like, oh.
Shit.
Okay. Never again.
Cool. Is there any more coke?
Yeah, right? No, like, after that hospital thing, I was like, I'm done.
I bet, dude. That's a scary...
That doesn't need to happen anymore. I can drink an energy drink and get the same effect.
I know, man. That's one drug that... it's the king of bullshit drugs.
It makes you an asshole.
It makes you an asshole. Snort.
That's a good thing about weed, and why I don't judge people with the weed, because it's like, yeah, you're not sober, but weed doesn't make you an asshole. Weed makes you either mellow or makes you, like, go to sleep.
I can't say that I've made an irrational decision from smoking weed. Because if anything, weed makes me think more about what I'm going to do and make sure that I'm not doing something stupid. Whereas in drinking, cocaine, all that sort of shit was like, oh, cool, you got bottles? You wanted me to break them? Okay, cool. Is there a fire you want me to start? All right, awesome. Cool. Yeah. Let's spray paint this. Let's break that. Let's do all this stupid shit. You know what I mean? Like, no.
It's like a tea kettle just kind of whistling the whole time.
Yeah, man.
Ready to go.
Yeah. Are you ready to fuck this up? Well, yeah, I'm drunk enough to. Yeah, let's do it. Like now it was like somebody's like, here, let's go fuck up this abandoned warehouse. I go, I got a bong here.
Smoke some weed?
Like we could smoke some weed too, and not.
There's a really cool new Marvel show happening. We can smoke weed and watch that.
Yeah, we could totally just relax.
Yeah.
Instead, that's way more my speed these days.
I've jumped off of balconies and roof to roof jumps for no reason, just because we were high and drunk, and I think I can't do any of that anymore. I can barely get out of bed without everything cracking and making a noise and oh god.
Yeah. I think it's a sign of having a good run.
Yeah, we had a good run.
And I'll tell you what.
Now I can't wrestle anymore. Now I got to just be a mouthpiece. You know what I mean? That's it.
Dude, it's good to be able to say you had a good run rather than to be 60 and think the run is still going.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
That's a lot of That's a lot of LA.
Yeah,
that's a lot of the Rainbow Grill. I'm not gonna name any names, but
that's a treasure trove for that kind of stuff.
I went there. I took a buddy, my buddy Nick. He came into town. I'm like, hey, let's go to the Rainbow Grill. Like, touristy kind of spot.
It's fun. It really is fun.
But we went in, and there was an old dude, probably like 70, jet black hair, and it's all like spiky and like everywhere. And he's sitting there with like a young girl, and I'm just like.
Yeah.
Let it go, man.
Let me tell you about the time I toured with Bang Tango. All right.
You know John Bon Jovi? His roommate was in my band. And
there's a lot of that at the Rainbow, man. That is like I really do love seeing that, though. I haven't been in so long. I was just talking about that yesterday, actually, with Matt, and we were just discussing
it's people watching.
We were on the good streak there, where first time we go to the Rainbow, there's fucking Lemmy. Second time it was Slash and Tommy Lee. Third time it's Lemmy again. Fourth time it was just like, oh my god, what's going on here? Every time we come here,
Lemmy was there
crazy.
Every day, so
every day, yeah. And it was for a while there. We had a good. Every time Municipal Waste came to town, it was a mandatory to go to the Rainbow Room, and it seemed like every fucking time we did it, someone outrageous was there. Yeah. There was like a night where it was like Ron Jeremy, Slash, Tommy Lee,
Ron Jeremy. We don't talk about Ron Jeremy anymore.
He's
in jail.
For what? What did he do?
Like 36 counts of sexual abuse.
Whoa.
But I mean, like, is anyone surprised that Ron Jeremy has...
Well, it was amazing that anybody... Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's in jail for the rest of his life now, so...
I was not up on my Ron Jeremy news. Wow. Really?
Yeah. And it's.
I guess I'm saying, wow, really? That really
I wasn't
isn't surprising.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. Like when my wife told me about it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I guess so.
How long ago is this? How have I not known about this?
It was pretty. I'd say like a month, maybe within a month.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
So it was like recent.
Very recent. Yeah, he got a bunch of counts of sexual harassment, like abuse, not just harassment, but abuse.
Jesus Christ!
So
what more do you need when you're a porn guy? Like, isn't your job having sex?
Yeah. So I'm not justifying Ron Jeremy.
No.
I don't know the details, and I'm sure he fucked up. But there's also like things like look at Marilyn Manson.
Yeah,
whether you're a fan or not of his music, like he's accused of being like abusive sexually, but it's like it's the lyrics to his song.
It's like,
what are you talking about? How are you surprised?
Yeah.
I'm gonna use you and abuse you. He says it in a song. It's part of the chorus. Like. How are you surprised?
It's like
what are you expecting?
It's like being surprised that a Proud Boy is a dumbass or something. Like, oh my god, I had no idea that guy was racist. Who would have thought?
Alex Jones is a little weird. No shit. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know,
dude. I really that's wild shit about Ron Jeremy. I mean, like I
didn't look like the second.
I had no idea. That's
I didn't look into it. My wife told me about it. I looked at the Google article. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that makes sense. And then I just never looked back in. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't want to think about it anymore.
Well, apparently nobody will be seeing him at the Rainbow Room anymore.
Nope.
Or just anywhere
or
anymore.
Lemmy.
Jesus Christ.
I remember my first experience with the Rainbow Room. I was like 19 maybe. And I was living in Florida, but I was in town here for Thanksgiving with my family.
Hell yeah.
And we drove by the Rainbow Room. And it's the Roxy, right? That's right next to it?
Yeah.
At the Roxy, Non-Point was playing, and those are my homies from Florida.
No shit.
So I told my family, like, drop me off here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go see Non-Point.
That's really cool.
And I went to see Non-Point, and then I went over to the Rainbow Grill, and I ran into Be Real.
Awesome.
And Tony Campos from Static X, and like all the dudes from that scene, like all the dudes from Cold were there, all the dudes from like some of the dudes from Limp Bizkit, and like fucking... That whole scene, like Stain dudes, like it was just, they were all just chilling there. I'm like, wow, this is, I guess, and you could just walk in.
Yeah.
There's no meet and greet. There's no
it's just like
VIP package. They're having drinks. And
I was thinking about how awkward it must be for guys like that, because especially, I know, like, we did something insanely dumb, Tony and I, Slash and Tommy Lee were sitting there in a booth, and we were out of our fucking minds. Like, I mean, just wasted, you know what I mean? And they're eating, man. And we went up to them and we're like, can we get you out of here? And it's like, they're like, and they weren't dicks about it. They're just like, no, we're eating.
Is that your biggest Punisher moment?
I'm sure I've had worse, but that one, I remember really feeling bad about that one, because it was like one of those really obvious things that, like, right after he said it, it's like, hey man, we're eating, and we're just like, oh yeah, where are my fucking manners at, man? Like, that's silly,
I panicked. I'm sorry.
I was just like, of course, man. If you're eating food, you just want to eat your fucking food. Like,
I've definitely punished people. Like I try not to anymore, and I try to advise people, because I have a lot of friends who are like, oh my god, you know that guy from that band?
Yeah.
Give him my demo, and I'm like, no,
you can't do that.
No.
Yeah.
Go approach them as a person. I try to give people advice, like approach them as a person. But I've definitely punished people, man.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of the people who came through these doors to do a band meet and greet I've punished for sure. Like, I mean...
It's rough.
Actually, Brody brought Darby in one time, too, and I was just like, the whole situation, it was her, or not Pinell, what's his wife's name?
She's now Gigi. Yeah, she's now Gigi Doll in NXT. But yeah, they're also not together anymore.
Oh, I didn't know either of those things. Yeah. But yeah, the three of them came, and it was weird because my mind just melted. Like they had their dog with them, and it was Brody, him, and her, and a Chihuahua sitting on my patio eating food, and just it wasn't even like that particular that it was these people. It was just like, I'm geeking out on the moment of this. It's so fucking strange that I love it. Yeah. It's just like, oh my god, what are you guys doing here? Yeah. Like, this is great. Like, you had a little chihuahua, and I just was like, The absurdity of it all is what makes me trip out, I think.
I'm decent. I'm a weird, like, I wouldn't call it hermity, but like whenever a situation like that's happening, I'm good with, like, I'll just stand by, like, and like observe the moment, like, all right, cool. But when it comes to like running into like somebody that I highly, highly respect, like it happened with Adam Jones from Tool.
Okay.
Like, I love fucking Tool.
Yeah, great band.
Ever since I was a kid. And I saw him at Monsterpalooza in Pasadena.
What's that?
It's a like a convention of monsters and
it didn't click in my head. For some reason, my mind went to monster trucks instead of like horror movies.
I was at a monster truck show.
Yeah, no, it's so weird.
Nebraska, and I'm just kidding.
That's really funny.
Yeah, I ran into him there, and I froze. I was just like, oh. I was like, you're Adam Jones. Can I get a picture with you? And he was like, yeah, totally. And I had just gotten an autograph from Doug Bradley, Pinhead from Hellraiser.
That's cool.
And I was like holding it, and he grabbed it, and he's like, this is awesome. And then my wife took the picture. I'm just like that's the picture I have with Adam Jones. And then like I'm like freaked out. Thank you, man. All right, man. Talk to you later.
Dude.
And I walked out, and then like we ran into him again later on, and and that had calmed down. And I was like, I'm sorry I punished you earlier, dude. I freaked out. I'm sorry. I was really high. Like right before we walked in, I hit my pen a bunch, and I was really stoned. And you walked up, and I'm like, I'm a normal human being.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God, no.
There's nothing worse than that. Like that's even cringier. Like when you have to explain yourself that you're a normal human.
Sorry,
I'm normal, I promise.
I'm not a creep. I wasn't looking through your trash. Listen, it's cool. I
wasn't following you to talk to you again just now.
One of the wildest things I ever seen, and there's a couple days. One of my buddies put this into perspective, and I was asking him. At the time, he was managing Tommy Lee, and as a friend, Jason, I was saying, like, what's it like to be that guy? I mean, like, it's got to be pretty wild. He's like, dude, if he wants to get a fucking slice of pizza, he can't just walk down the street and get a fucking slice of pizza, because it's like, you're Tommy Lee, you're Tommy Lee, you're Tommy Lee, you're Tommy Lee, you're Tommy Lee. It's like, oh, I never thought of that, right? And it doesn't have to do with Tommy Lee, but Kerry King, right? So we had done
oh, you told me this story.
Yeah, we did a show at his we did an event at his house, and it was fucking surreal. We did like a Halloween private party for his house, and it was the Waste was playing House of Blues with Anthrax. And it was one of those weird things, like nobody could go backstage because Anthrax was bringing out, I think it was like Chuck D was there, I think Slash was there. There was like they had all these weird guests.
Okay.
Carrie was there.
Okay.
And I went outside and to smoke a cigarette, just getting like overwhelmed by the venue, and just everybody just needed a break, man. And he was standing out there just by himself, and I was like, oh shit, Carrie, like, hey man, how's it going? Ryan, Grill Mall. He's like, hey, oh shit, how you doing? We start talking and just shooting the shit. And it's like his assistant or whatever had gone to like get his car down the street, and we were on like the bottom part of the House of Blues, and you could see people were leaving the show for whatever reason they had to get, but like all of a sudden they see Kerry King, and it was like a zombie movie, man. Like we're just bullshitting, and it was just, there was like one or two, and they start moving forward. It just starts becoming like a sea of people, and he's like, he's like, dude, I'm sorry, I hate to do this, but I gotta get the fuck out of here. I was like, no, understandable. Yeah. And he just got in his car, and he's like, I'm sorry, man, like, I'll talk to you next time. I was like, yeah. I was like, God, I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah.
Because like if he wouldn't have gotten out of there, that would have been an hour at least of like pictures, autographs, punishment, just like brutality, like fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I mean, I'm grateful that I've become friends with some people that are like that, like Adam D from Killswitch.
Yeah.
Whenever he's in town, I'm like on Punisher patrol. You know what I mean? Like we'll be chilling, talking like this, and then like I see the dudes.
Oh, dude, you can always spot the people.
I see the dudes like
you can
standing,
always spot the people,
kind of nervous, like, oh my god. And I'm like, Adam, you got a couple Punishers, 3:00. And he's like, all right, bring him over. And I just walk over, like, you guys want a picture with Adam? It's cool, come over. Picture. Okay, now you got to go though, because we're
hanging out. Yeah,
have your picture. Get the fuck out of here.
No, we get it's wild that on a small level how much that happens with Chris, especially like when we play, because people, obviously his label Slap a Ham has released some. I mean, they put out the fucking like first Melvin's record. They put out like Fu Manchu's. I mean, Chris put out every good power violence band that's ever. You know what I mean? It's a hell of a label, and so. But you can always spot and I know because I'm that guy. You know, you can always spot one because we are all, whether we like to think so or not, we're all punishers. And but like, you know, and because you're this person is waiting to. The Matrix number on the first pressing of the Lack of Interest split with Agents of Satan on blue vinyl. How many of those were pressed? And do you remember who they were distributed to? But, you know, and it's like, and it's not that Chris doesn't want to talk about stuff. He's like, dude, I just don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Google it. I don't know.
I have no idea, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's to see it on a small scale is so wild. I couldn't imagine being like a Dave Mustaine or a fucking Kerry King.
And I've never wanted that either. Like I want to be a rock star. Like I don't want to be at that point where I can't enjoy life.
I'd like to be the part where I'm rich.
Well, yeah.
And then if you could just avoid everybody that would be great. Yeah.
Well, you know, there's a lot of that in the Hollywood Hills. You got those bushes that are like 12, 30 feet high in the air. They're hiding back there. But all right, so we're at an hour, which is like normally the normal length of the show. But I'll keep going. Just one last question: the Hour of the Barbarian.
Yes. Shit, man, that's harder and harder to do that now that Chris lives further away.
But you know, you got Zoom.
We'll probably. I think when things start settling down, like you know, once he's established himself out there, as in. Establish himself with the people. No. Establish once he's like, you know, got his bearings out there, has everything, you know, moved in, and they're nice and, you know, have their way around, sort of thing. Yeah. Like, I think that's something that will, you know, but it takes time. When you're moving to a new city, it's going to take a minute to feel everything out and all that stuff. So, you know, get adjusted, get a feel for the city, and then we can talk about stupid shit down the line eventually. I mean, that is the dumbest podcast. If anybody's interested, Hour of the Barbarian, it's on Apple. I don't know what that is, iTunes or whatever
Apple
it is.
Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts. So bad to that, dude. Like
Google something podcasts.
Yeah.
Spotify
it's on a podcast thing, but you can listen to it, and it's basically just Chris, Phil, and myself bitching about stuff. And being
it's
old
a good show, man.
And, you know, telling old stories about stupid shit.
I'm sad Chris left before we could do one all together.
We do have to do one all together.
We'll do one.
We got to do one all together.
When you figure out the Zoom situation, we'll do one.
Yeah, that's perfect. Because that way, perfect.
Just call me from home. I can do it in my underwear.
Because we'll have to line up the beers that you guys can all drink.
Oh yeah, it has to be all pumpkin beers, right? Is that the thing?
Dude, they get shit hammered every time.
I know they hate pumpkin beers.
Listen, here's the thing. Oh yeah, they don't like Chris and Phil aren't pumpkin beer guys, so you won't have any
all
of those.
All pumpkin beers. Let's go.
Yeah. Dude,
I want to throw up on the show. Let's go.
Inevitably, every show it happens that they get shit tanked by the end because there's not a single beer that ends up being drank on that show that's like under 8 or 10%. You know what I mean? It's like
speaking of,
what do we got here?
4%.
Oh, that's only 4.
Super crushable.
That's a day drinker right there.
I don't really listen to podcasts. Is the name. Come get the RBG beer.
Get his beer. It's fantastic.
But dude, thank you for some time today.
You, man. It's been a fucking pleasure.
If anybody wants to follow you specifically at the socials, what is it?
I don't like people following me.
Don't talk to him.
My Instagram's private. I don't even like to go on it personally. So don't look me out. I fucking hate social media. But if you want to find out the restaurant, it's at Grill 'Em All on Twitter, Instagram, all that garbage that nobody needs in their lives. We're on all of it. Check us out if you'd like, or don't. I don't really care. Come to the restaurant.
Get some good burgers.
To the restaurant, get some food, get some drink, have some libation, have some fun. Take your mind off the stupidity that is this country and this world we live in right now. And just fucking hang, man. That's what we're here for. Hanging and chilling and not taking anything too seriously. Just to have fun and get through the goddamn day without losing our shit. That's basically the plan.
Exactly. Pick up the new Trappist. Pick up the new Trappist record.
Please, yes.
Split on Tank Crimes with.
Someone had to fucking do it. It's a weed and a beer split, and it's called Crossfaded. Listen, someone had to do it. We just happen to be those guys.
It's got everything I love on the cover. The artwork is beautiful. There's Japanese text, which I love. It says weed plus beer at some point. Like it's just, they made it for me. It's what I like to tell myself.
Hell yeah.
that's my record.
And if you ever want to know what I see on mushrooms, just look at the cover. That's where that came from. So,
thank you again.
No, thank you.
Thank you for
Eddie,
all your
fucking
support.
pleasure.
All your support through the years too. Like we did the live podcast here with Barnett. Blood Sport. You guys have always been super supportive, and I will always support you.
Cheers, man. Same here. Fuck yeah. Or wait, here we go. Yeah, there we go. Fuck yeah. We could. Oh, I almost drank my mic. I almost drank the fucking mic. I'm sure you could probably replay that on there and watch my dumb ass just.
I love you, dude. Thank you guys.
You too, man.
Follow.
I love you guys out there as well.
Come to Grill 'em All. Later.
Hell yeah.